According to our reporting, some of the deals going on right now: Saudi Arabia, 2 luxury towers, Live Golf Partnership, Qatar, Golf Club and Villas, UAE, luxury hotel, cryptocurrency deal, Oman, resort and golf project.
And the dinner.
In Qatar. What we do know is what Syria is offering Donald Trump. And what we do know is that the things that are happening in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, buying meme coins that mean absolutely nothing. They were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them.
Who cares about the plane? Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
what matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys on
have
this
you
trip?
heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And here we go. And straight like that, we back, man. What's going on, everybody? Y'all good out there, man? I hope everybody doing swell. I can't complain myself. If I did, no one want to hear it, so I keep it to myself. You dig what I'm saying? If you like what I'm doing, like, subscribe to the content, give me in that algorithm, we will go accordingly, as I always say, man. We back again. Abby Phillips, you know what I'm saying? Abby Phillips got a nice little format to the show, man. They ask some hot topic questions out here. The people they have on the panel are always interesting. Namely, the Kevin O'Learys of the world, the Scott Jennings of the world, the Joe Borrellis, the Bayas, the Shermichaels. They make for interesting television. It's infuriating watching them, but they make for interesting television. This in particular time, they're talking about these gifts and these monies that the Trump administration is flirting with. At this point, they've already received them reportedly. But for some reason, there's double standarding going on out here. These are the type of things that we heard people complain about. They never brought substantial proof. But we heard them complain about the money that Joe Biden and his son and all of this. And it was the whole Biden crime family, let them tell it. Said the big guy was running and making plays all around the globe, getting money from all these places. Now, it's such an interesting thing because Donald Trump has gotten a $400 million jet and supposedly another $200 million in investments from the people over here in and of the Qatari government. Now, if you're not familiar with the Qatari government and who they are, I'll bring you up more to speed as we go into this video a little more. But just keep in mind that name Qatar and that sum of money that I put across you, the prior instances of impropriety that the Biden family was accused of. When any hint, I mean, $75 went their way, they tripping. You dig what I'm saying? But for some reason, they've got a much better explanation for Trump and them getting money from all of these things. So let's get into this material, man, and away we go.
According to our reporting, some of the deals going on right now: Saudi Arabia, 2 luxury towers, Live Golf Partnership, Qatar, Golf Club and Villas, UAE, luxury hotel, cryptocurrency deal, Oman, resort and golf project.
And the dinner.
I mean this sincerely. I mean, does it bother you that this is happening at the same time that these nation states are also trying to curry favor with Trump himself?
Well, it doesn't really bother me that people are in business for years, then their dad gets elected president, and then they continue to go on in business. We knew we were electing a businessman president. We knew his family was in business. So I think the American people have full visibility into that. Number 2.
But we're talking about new deals here, not existing
well, they're business
deals.
people. They're cutting deals all the time.
You're okay with them cutting deals while Trump is sitting in the White House when he's going over there
countries that
to
are
negotiate
actively
with them?
doing negotiations with
They're negotiating with every country in the world every day. Well, let me answer your question, the specific criticism about Hunter Biden. All the things you just mentioned, towers, golf courses, hotels, resorts, tangible things.
Cryptocurrency and meme coins, Scott. Don't forget those.
You do something, money exchanges hands, a service is provided, a tower is built, a golf course is developed. Can you name one tangible service other than finger paintings that that Hunter Biden provided for any
I
money
do
that
think-
changed
listen,
hands.
I do think
You
that
cannot.
that-
It doesn't bother him. They business people. Out of the deal, they cut deals. That's what they do. What are we tripping on? Find a way to bring it back to Hunter Biden and the paintings that he. Now they accuse this man of selling paintings. I don't even know how much he say he sold the paintings for, but I don't even see how that would be a problem. But I can also tell you, or what I can jump over to, is ask you all, to what benefit of the American people does a Trump hotel in Dubai or Qatar, or a golf course or resort, what good does that do to American people? What, Trump gonna funnel the proceeds, every tourist to stay there and pay the exorbitant price? Let's funnel that money into the government and go and build some more roads somewhere. Scott Jennings, man, for the amount of type of money that he's making, you can't imagine that that's just a two-way trade. I give you, you give me the plane, I give you, we give you the 200 million in these investments. You've got to know that there's some backroom under the table deals. You got to know there's some wink of the eye. There's some concessions in these agreements that the people don't know about. Come on, that's with any business. If you go right now as a business owner, let's say you own a pest control company, right? And you go to the local lawn service guy that you know that's doing business, and you say, hey, let's join in together, man, and let's cross-promote. Let's get money together. I come and do the pest control at the places where you do the lawn. We kind of upsell each other. But, of course it'd be like, well, I tell you what, you give me, since this is the clientele list I got as the lawn man, you give me $1,500 up front, because I'm going to bring you a lot more business than you bring me my clientele. You dig what I'm saying? Throw me in a couple Atlanta Hawk tickets or something. That's the type of things that's going to go into the agreement. You dig what I'm saying? Well, business people talking people, and business people have deals. When you got money, you know what I'm saying? You get all kind of little things going on. But to think that it's just cut and dry, just those deals, and to excuse them, man, you know what I'm saying, in the face of just blatant what seems to be impropriety and just sketchy movements, it's more of the same from people like Scott Jennings.
I think it's a fair critique of the Hunter Biden of it all.
not apples to apples.
But you're not addressing the fact that in all of these countries, in order to do any of these things, they have to go to the political leadership of the countries to get them approved. That doesn't address that at all.
Abby, at 10:07, Scott was telling me how the biggest modern day conspiracy we've had in terms of a president scandal was Joe Biden and his health. And he said that, and then he criticized Chuck Schumer, right, about the fact that he didn't have any character because he didn't stand up to it. But at 10:27, 10:28, the argument has changed, because what we do know is that there is a $400 million jet from Qatar. What we do know is that there is a $5.5 million golf course in Qatar. What we do know is what Syria is offering Donald Trump. And what we do know is that the things that are happening in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, buying meme coins that mean absolutely nothing. The fact is, and I would love for Scott to be able to answer this question, but for the fact, and that's when I didn't really do well in law school, but I remember but for the fact Donald Trump is president of the United States, none of this would happen. And so that is what you call a kleptocracy. And so when you have children, and no, and 1 second, Kevin, because you wanted to talk about you wanted to talk about Kamala Harris being mediocre.
Yeah, so he's signaling the entrance of Kevin O'Leary, and just me, myself, I have to take a minute, just sit right here, and I tell you, I became the prince of a town called Bel Air before he comes in. You dig what I'm saying? Because Bakari had it right. He hit the nail on the head. You want to come in and talk about Kevin O'Leary. The world is only Kevin O'Leary and Kevin O'Leary Ventures, and how it affects his business and his pipeline and his supply chain. And do you have a patent, what's going to stop someone from coming in and duplicating your business? He's such a Chinaman, bro. It's crazy. But he hit the nail on the head. So I just felt the need to just, you know what I'm saying, just sit back and just kind of woosah for a minute before we let him come in and with his meaningless drivel.
Donald Trump
she
Jr.
was worse than me.
Donald Trump Jr.
Stop.
and Donald Trump Jr. and what's the other one? Eric are the definition of what mediocre is. And what I'm saying is that now they are reaping the
Can I
benefits of
guide
their
you in a
father.
different direction?
Please.
Just for a moment,
No,
please.
guide me. I'm blind.
What
Guide me.
does this have to do
Why
with
do you have to be
Middle
so
East
patronizing?
policy? Please, just a moment.
Oh, no,
What,
please.
excuse me.
Oh, yes,
What does
excuse
this
me.
have to do with the fact that he is trying to create a circle of friendship with the fastest growing geographies in the world before China does?
but wait a second.
Wait, let me finish.
Well,
On this trip,
Kamala is mediocre. Can I guide you in 5 different directions? And never mind the fact that he's attempting to create a circle of friendship.
I just want to introduce an idea. This has nothing to do with policy.
Go ahead. I'm locked in.
What does this have to do with policy?
The one thing that I've heard for the last 4 or 5 years is anytime anyone had any criticism of the United States foreign policy in Gaza or whatever, is that these people would be being paid by a resource-rich government that propped up and funded terrorism, which was over in Qatar. Every single time. They were buying influence in Ivy League schools. They were buying influence in social media. They were buying influence everywhere. So anytime you saw somebody
You wanna push these countries away. You
were
wanna
saying
push
that
these-
anytime somebody was thought to have any dealings with the Qataris, they were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them, literally is refurbishing it to be Air Force.
Who cares about the plane? What does that have to do with the
got it.
fact?
Because it's
Who cares about the plane? It says right there, Schumer blocking Trump DOJ nominees over Qatari jet gift. It's literally the name of the segment. He just got finished saying a $400 million jet. He just said it. This is what we're talking about. Kevin said, who worried about the jet when you can make a circle of friendship? A circle of friendship with the same people that had this been a Democrat taking money from it. Or probably anybody other than Donald Trump. They'll turn on them and swear that they are dealing with the people that fund terrorism. At the tune of $275,000 or something moving around that they think they identified. But $400 million, $600 million, it's just creating a circle of friendship. What?
Wait a second.
Because it's
You know what?
if you
I
I don't get it.
Like-
Why focus on something that is irrelevant to the policy
It's
of
not
the region?
irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
How is it
Kevin,
irrelevant?
Kevin,
Would you rather have the Chinese there?
So
Would
they-
you rather have them there?
Kevin, the United
Kevin,
States
Kevin.
Constitution
irrelevant.
would like to have
No,
a
it's-
word.
it's-
The
it's
United
like-
States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care,
Yeah, it's
right?
people care
because
because
the
of the
reason that that's in the Constitution is to prevent the president of the United States from accepting things
What's
that
the
are
goal
being
of the trip?
that are being perceived
What's the
as
goal?
as bribes.
What is the national
The
interest
goal of the
this
trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have
That's
to
not-
distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy.
Bro, I honestly don't know how Abby does it with Kevin without, you know what I'm saying, go up through that one time, bro. Man, I would tell Kevin about, oh, get on fuck about your couple $100 million, bro. He talk, man, what? He always got that black suit on, bro. I'd be like, man, I had to tell Kevin, bro, you might be in the proper attire for what's, you know, liable to become you. You gotta detach yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. Kevin O'Leary said, what was the point of the trip? The point of the trip from what I understand, it's supposed to be like for the good of the American people and some funds coming into. But you go over there and you get a gift that's double the amount of what you say you got for the American people. You say you got $600 million in all. $400 million of it was in the form of a new plane to be refurbished into Air Force One to benefit you and only you. And the other $200 million in investments. You got double for your jet than what you got for the 330 million people of America. And Kevin said, shit, what was the point? The point to go over there and, you know what I'm saying? You got to get, you know what I'm saying? Get you some, get me a little something. Get me double what you get. I put the work in. Kevin O'Leary, bro. Detach yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. Right, man. I hope I get big enough to be able to interview Abby Phillips sometime soon.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
What matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys
Have
on the
you
strip?
heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And
listen,
do you
I-
understand that
I
even if
don't-
you
I
think
don't-
that maybe it might be
debating how many
okay,
fairies
it's
dance on a
still,
pin
it's
does
still
not do
legally
policy.
incredibly dubious.
So let me ask you a
realize
question.
That, right?
So can
Hold
I?
on,
So
but
I'm sorry.
hold on.
I'm
Let
hearing
me
you.
just. But Kevin doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're
I'm
talking
above
about.
that. I focus
because
on
you're
policy.
so rich, you get to be above it. That's
It's nothing
so
to
lovely.
do with wealth. It's policy, policy.
No, but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas. Whew. If someone is willing to take a $400 million plane from a government, that the kinds of things that Van was talking about, people have, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do? And Scott, you're talking about these tangible things. Meme coins
they're
are
business people.
Meme coins are not tangible. They're nothing. Cryptocurrency is nothing. There is a bidding war going on right now with governments and countries and companies. We have no idea what their alignments are to buy enough meme coins to buy access to our
There was a story tonight in the New
not
York Times about
ethical.
a very mysterious company that bought hundreds of millions of dollars
With
worth of
links to
Trump
China. I mean,
I
meme
think-
coins with links to
I think-
China.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, I mean, there are some
ahead.
real
That is
questions
not-
and
The emo-
concerns
the-
about the money that is
the
being
mo-
made here.
The emoluments thing you raised, I mean, it's a good question. It's a legitimate debating point, and I assume it'll ultimately be tested in court. The administration has a point of view on it. I assume they're going to be sued, or I don't know how you would get it into court on this, but my assumption is ultimately the Supreme Court is the only people who can give us some arbitration on this. So I assume that's where it's headed.
Oh, the classic, we'll let people rule on it. I don't have a personal thought on whether it's right or wrong. My right or wrong gauges in if someone will rule on it and let him get away with it or not. That's Scott Jennings. The emoluments clause that Kevin O'Leary has no idea what it is. Did you see the spook look on his face? He get to looking around. Do you know what the emoluments clause is? Kevin O'Leary. Making judgments. I asked you what the emoluments clause was, sir. Do you know? Nah, he don't know. Scott tried to save him. He said it's an interesting thing you bring up because he knows that that's something he's heard about that is relevant, but he doesn't fully know what's going on. I'll put you up on what the emoluments clause is. The emoluments clause refers to two provisions in the U.S. Constitution that restrict public officials from receiving gifts, payments, or benefits from foreign governments or domestic sources without congressional approval. They aim to prevent corruption and conflicts of interest. And this is on a $10,000 gift. You talking about a $400 million gift that he tries to wrap in the guise of, well, it's $600 million investment to the United States. But glaringly obvious telling you that $400 million of it is for a personal jet. And these are the things that the emoluments clause aims to prevent. Because again, sounds to be like a conflict in interest. You're going to be friendly to someone that will give you $400 to $600 million. We see what happened with Elon Musk. Elon Musk was all up in the White House for like, what, 30 million? 300 million or something like this here. So, where there's smoke, there is usually some fire, or at least some fire had been there, brother. You dig what I'm saying? So, plenty of interesting developments, man. You heard him talk about that meme coin thing. I got an episode coming up about that here next. So, just more of the tomfoolery. You dig what I'm saying? That we see what's going on with this administration, man. So, as more come in, I will come to my people. And until then, it's been straight like that.
And here we go.
I don't know what kind of vibe you think you got off me, but I don't play that way.